Please welcome to the stage Watergate prosecutor and MSNBC commentator Jill Wine-Banks and Aziz Hook, the Greenberg Professor of Law of the University of Chicago. Never ahead of schedule, we're always behind. How are you, Jill?
I'm good.
So I don't know if everyone remembers this, but Jill, at our very first conference, gave the most bang-up speech I think I've ever seen. We had 800 people. They were all terrified. And we were watching this situation that had just happened in the White House, and all we could think about was, is this going to be okay? And the only person to give hope was Jill. You got up and you talked about how it was going to be okay. You talked about Watergate. Do you remember? What did you say that day?
I don't remember, but I still remain slightly hopeful. It has been a horrible period for all of us. I'm sure that all of you are sharing my fears for democracy in America. But I want you to all think about the juror in the Manafort case, Paula Duncan. She was a loyal Trump supporter, and she has been interviewed extensively since the trial, and she said, "I think the whole investigation is a hoax and a witch hunt." But the evidence in this case was overwhelming. I voted to convict Manafort on all 18 counts. So I am hoping that the rest of the Republicans will come to see the facts, which is why, related to this topic that we're talking about today, I am very much in favor of having public hearings. And the subpoena of McGahn is the first step toward the kind of public hearings I want. It's not enough to hear Mueller and Barr. Mueller will say what he's already said in his report. Barr will say what he said in his press conference. We need to hear the witnesses. People need to see the body language and hear the tone of voice and hear the exact language that the witnesses use. So I don't want to have it summarized for me. Reading a transcript is not the same thing as hearing it. Reading the report, although it's fascinating, and I highly commend all of you to reading the Mueller report, it's not the same as hearing the witnesses.
So one of the biggest things we wanted to ask you today, Jill, because your talk at the first conference was the only thing that gave me hope. And everybody afterwards said it was the only thing that gave them hope. And I think we sent it out on our email list 5 times, just trying to get everyone to calm down, right? I guess the question is, what's next?
Well, what's next should be public hearings, and then we should evaluate the evidence. If you've read the Mueller report or even remotely followed any of the coverage of it, the Mueller report lays out a case for obstruction that is absolutely crystal clear. As clear to me as Watergate when I heard the tapes of the president and said, this is a guilty president. I would say the same thing is true here. Donald Trump has committed obstruction of justice in plain sight, and we need to take action on that. So that would be the first thing. Now, I also want to just say that we are in a very difficult position where you have the moral imperative and the constitutional obligation of Congress to take action, which would be impeachment. But you have a political reality, which is we need to win in 2020. Because even if you were able to impeach him and convict him, which I think, is there anyone in this room who thinks he would be convicted in the Senate? Raise your hand if you think he would be. That's what I thought. So if he's not going to be convicted, he is going to stay in office. There is a debate as to whether he would be more powerful after an impeachment, but without conviction, or he wouldn't be. And much smarter people than I have debated that. I don't know what the answer is. I know morally he should be impeached and he should be convicted. But I think the most important thing facing us right now is even if he were removed, you would be running against President Pence. Oh, just think about saying those words. So whoever you're running against, you still have to win in 2020. And if an impeachment is going to divert us, if an impeachment is going to hurt our chances of winning in 2020, then I say, let's have the fact-finding hearing. Let's put the facts out there. Let's let some independents join the Democrats in voting against Donald Trump in 2020. But winning in 2020 is key.
Yeah, amen to that. Let's talk about offense and defense, because I think when you look at the Mueller report, a lot of us have been depending on that for defense, you know? But there is the offense side of things, and let's face it, we're in a heck of a fight right now. So going on the offense, Jill, what would you like to see when we head into 2020?
Well, of course, I'd like to see us come together on a candidate with great policies. That's key, because we can't just run against the Republicans. We can't run against even the corruption of the Republican Party. And right now, we are facing an existential threat. I mean, let me remind you of the things that are going on right now. He's refusing a subpoena for his tax returns. He's refusing a subpoena for his financial reports from his accounting firm. He's refusing to let McGahn testify, and on and on and on. And really, our ability to enforce